now YouTube. I'm Lord Sneaker, and these are 2016 Jordan 4 Motorsport Blues. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is gonna be my first full restoration on this channel, so I'm gonna show y'all how I turn them from this to this. I'm gonna teach you how to get the results that I get. Today's shake back is brought to you by none other than New Antidote from New Life Kicks. This is all we're going to need to clean the shoe with, because this shoe has no delicate materials whatsoever. Not only does it clean, but it reverses oxidation. All you have to do is clean the shoe and sit it under the sun or some UV lights, and it works like a charm. Now, when you're dealing with cloth material, I strongly suggest you sit it under the sun when you're trying to deoxidize it. Soles, you can sit it under the UV setup. And this will be the cleaner, along with some hot water, new eraser sponge, nylon scrub, a nose sponge, new sole brush, and this little detail brush that I got, and a shoe tree. With the exception of this little detail brush, can be found at New Life Kicks website, newlifekicks.com. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the laces out. We're going to put a shoe tree in here, and we're going to start with the bottom soles. So let's get to it. We hit the soles with the new sole brush, and for the most part, they're looking pretty good. But there's still some dirt inside the crevices of the soles, and there's a whole lot of dirt right here on this middle part. When it comes to this middle part, you can use a brush to clean it, but you're not going to get all the dirt off, and this is why you see so many people resort to using acetone and stuff like that to clean this part. They're trying to get it super white. And the reason being is because a brush is only scratching that dirt. In order to get that part completely clean, you got to use something that is smooth as the surface. So that's where the new eraser sponge comes in. Get a little bit of water. You wet the sponge. Then you want to spray some of the New Antidote in the sponge. And you basically want to wring the sponge. For the part like the stars, I don't like to use my sponge to clean that, because the stars they protrude, so they'll eat the sponge up. So what I do at this point is take my detail brush, dip it in some water, spray a little bit of the antidote on it, and we hit the stars. We got these bottom soles clean. Now it's time to work our way up the shoe. We're going to use the same new eraser sponge to attack the midsoles and get the dirt off the midsole. Then we're going to move on to the old sponge and the nylon scrub to clean the uppers. We're going to use the old scrub on the leather on the uppers, and we're going to use the nylon scrub to clean the tongue patch. Now, when you're dealing with painted midsoles, you want to be careful how you scrub when you're using the New Antidote, because you can't take the midsole paint off. In this case, I'm not worried about that, because the midsole paint is cracking anyway. I gotta repaint it anyway. What we're gonna do is we're gonna reapply some more water. We're gonna get a lather going. We're gonna hit these midsoles. So we got the whole shoe clean from the top to the bottom. Now, in order to maximize the potential whiteness that we can get out of the shoe, we got to sit it inside the tint. And what it's going to do is it's going to reverse the oxidation on the leather. It's going to reverse the oxidation on the bottom soles. And it's going to disinfect the insides of the shoe. Yes, when you clean your shoes with the New Antidote or just suede, if you sit it under UV lights, what the UV lights does is it activates as an oxidation reversal and a disinfectant. It will kill bacteria inside the shoe once they're under UV lights. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to sit them under UV lights for about give or take 8 hours. Huh? Alright, so now we're back. We got the shoe out of the tint. As you can see, it's looking pretty good. This is an older shoe, so you're not going to remove a whole lot of the yellowing on the white parts here in a matter of 8 to 12 hours. It's going to take a little longer than that. It also depends on the type of light system you have. Now we're going to move on to the prep. We're going to use acetone and cotton balls to strip the factory finish off the uppers. I now use denatured alcohol to strip my midsoles. You can use acetone on newer model Jordans or sandpaper, because most of those newer model Jordans, the paint is on there. You're going to have to use sandpaper to take the finish off as opposed to removing the paint. Also, first thing we're going to start with is we're going to acetone the uppers. Then we're going to use some 1500 grit sandpaper to deal with these scratches and scuffs. You want to make the shoe look like it came out the box, not like you worked on it. Alright, so the next step is we're going to remove all this cracked paint off the midsoles to prepare for the repaint. What we're going to use to do that is some tape, some denatured alcohol, and some cotton balls. What we're going to do first is we're going to tape around the black parts, and we're going to strip those first. We're going to tape off the white areas as we're stripping the black parts, and then once the black parts are completely stripped, we'll remove the tape from the white portion and we'll strip that. So now the next step is painting. We're going to paint the netting back to white here, here, and here. So we're going to do just that with some flat white paint and a tiny detail brush. I had to make sure I take my time and went nice and slow with it so I didn't get paint all over the black background area, but it's done. So while we're on the netting, we're gonna keep our focus on the uppers and repaint all of the scuffs. Now we're rounding third base. It's time to get on to one of the final two steps in this restoration, which is repainting the midsoles and giving it a clear coat. Then after that, that's a wrap. We gotta tape up the uppers and the sole and the air unit so we could repaint this midsole. Let's get it. So now it's time to repaint this midsole. We're going to start off with the white first, flat white, then we're going to tape that up, or we're going to let it sit for about 3 minutes rather before we tape it up. And then we're going to hit the top portion with the flat black. And like that's gonna be wraps on these 2016 Jordan 4 Motorsports. This took forever and a day, but they came out great. All this work for $30. That's the special that I got going on from right now until I feel like it. This kind of work, this kind of quality of work. Like, look at the midsoles. Look at that repaint. Look at the shoe. You find the scuff. Find the scuff. You get this kind of work for $30 right now until I say otherwise. Prices will go up eventually, but for right now, 30 bucks. Couldn't be happier with the way they came out. Be looking for more content, and as always, there's two types of people in this world: those that watch it happen, those that make it happen. Which one are you?
Thank you.